A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Muhammadin wa ala alihi wasallam. Today we will study 11th Ruku of Surah An Nahl. Last Ruku ended with this statement that the capabilities of people are different and are in accordance with the divine laws. For its explanation, an example of two folks was elaborated. One with a lack of intellect and contemplation does not have any authority over anything and is a burden on his Lord. Whenever he is sent by his minister, he brings only curse. He is totally dependent and does not have any ability to benefit others. Can he be equivalent to that who has authority and makes any decision with wisdom and justice and is on correct course? Obviously, both cannot be equal. With this invocation, that may Allah Almighty help us in understanding the true context of the Holy Quran by the grace of His beloved Prophet Rahmatul Alameen Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Let us start today's session, Surah An Nahl, Ruku number 11, verses 77 to 83. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Walillahi ghaibus samawati wal ard. And to Allah Almighty belongs the unseen of the heavens and earth. Wama amrus saati illa kalamhil basari aw huwa akrab. And the matter of moment is not but as blinking of an eye, or even quicker. Inna Allaha ala kulli shayin qadir. Indeed, Allah Almighty has set measures of everything. The first underlined word is kalam he, time lapse for twinkling of eye. The word ghaib, unseen, means something which is present but is not being seen by our senses or consciousness. But Allah Almighty is fully aware of them because everything is evident to Him. In chapter 9, Surah Tawbah, verse 78, it is given, do they not know that Allah Almighty knows their secrets and their whispers, and that Allah has the knowledge of hidden? And as far as the matter of moment is concerned, it is just like a blink of an eye, or even quicker than that. The duty of messengers only to deliver the message and warn about the consequences of evil actions. But how, when, and where they will take place, its complete knowledge rests with Allah Almighty. Allah Almighty has set the measures for everything, and each thing is manifesting according to those set of measures. In chapter 54, Surah Al-Qamar, verse 49, it is stated, indeed, we have created everything in a determined measure. Wallahu akhrajakum mim butuni ummahatikum la ta'lamuna shay'a. And Allah Almighty brought you forth from the wombs of your mother, not knowing anything. وَجَعَلَ لَكُمُ السَّمْعَ وَالْأَبْصَارَ وَالْأَفْئِدَةَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. And made for you hearing, sight, and intellect, that you would be grateful. Al-Afidata, inner eye. O reader of Quran, just contemplate on your present condition. You have been passed through many stages to equip you with your present capabilities. When we come out from our mother's womb in this world, we had no knowledge. Our Creator and Honor bestowed us with the hearing, sight, and intellect, so that we may get acquaintance of the knowledge of truth. Hearing and seeing is basic source of acquiring knowledge, while far is that spiritual attribute through which the real essence of the things can be known. In chapter 53, Surah Al-Najm, verse 11, it is mentioned, indeed, the inner eye did not err what was seen. The purpose of these attributes is not only to excel in our lives, but also to be beneficial for other human beings and creatures. And this is the way of gratitude. In chapter 67, Surah Al-Mulk, verse 23, it is said, "Say, the one who raised you and made for you hearing and sight and inner eye, a few are those who are thankful." Alam yarau ila tayri musakharatim fi jawwis samai, and they not look at the birds subjected in the midst of sky. Ma yumsikuhunna illallah, none holds them except Allah Almighty. Inna fi zalika la ayatil liqawmi yu'minun. Indeed, in it are signs for those who believe. Jovi, midair. In the universe, signs of true creator are spread everywhere, and even they are present within ourselves, but most of the time we do not heed on them. This verse is directing our attention towards those signs. It is for sure that not anyone has the ability to look within his inner self, but those among us who can see by their eyes, hear from their ears, can realize these signs and seek reality by contemplating on them. And this can be done only by those who have conviction on this veracity that these multiverses are created by Lord Almighty and they are running in accordance to his divine laws. By witnessing those signs, their belief becomes firm. Wallahu ja'ala lakum min buyutikum sakanan, and Allah Almighty has made for your homes a place of rest. وَجَعَلَ لَكُم مِّن جُلُودِ الْأَنْعَامِ بُيُوتًا تَسْتَخِفُونَهَا يَوْمَ ظَعْنِكُمْ وَيَوْمَ إِقَامَتِكُمْ, and has made for you from the hides of animals tents, which you find light on your day of traveling and your day of encampment. وَمِنْ أَصْوَافِهَا وَأَوْبَارِهَا وَأَشْعَارِهَا أَسَاسًا وَمَتَاعًا إِلَى حِينٍ, and from their wool, fur, and hair is furnishing and provision for a time. The first underlined word is Zanikum, you travel. Aswafiha, their wool. Aubariha, their fur. One of the signs among various imbalance of Allah Almighty is the arrangement of our dwellings. In routine affairs, we feel comfortable in our houses, which remain stationary in their position. While Allah Almighty bestowed us the knowledge of making tents from the skins of cattle, which can be taken to any place, wherever we want to camp and then move to another place. These tents are light, neither they are difficult to camp nor are these hard to carry. The wool, fur, and hair, which are taken from various animals, have usage in making of different things which are beneficial for some duration. Wallahu ja'ala lakum mimma khalaqa zilalan, and Allah Almighty has made for you from what He has created shadows. وَجَعَلَ لَكُم مِّنَ الْجِبَالِ أَكْنَانًا, and has made for you from the mountains shelters. وَجَعَلَ لَكُمْ سَرَابِيلَ تَقِيكُمُ الْحَرَّ وَسَرَابِيلَ تَقِيكُمْ بَأْسَكُمْ, and has made for you garments which protect you from the heat and garments which protect you from your battle. Kazalika yutimmu ne'matahu alaykum la'allakum tuslimun. Thus does he completes his favor upon you that you may submit to him. The first underlined word is aknanan, hide, place of concealment. Sarabila, outfits. Another sign of Allah Almighty is the shadow. Science tells us that the smallest particle in the rays of the sunlight is photon, which does not have any space in it. Whenever it strikes any particle, space is created. The smallest particle of space is called electron, Where electron and proton collide, the vision's first glance appears. It means the creation of shadow is subjected with the collision of photon. The atmosphere is in fact a mixture of gases which has different shadows. If shadows of various colors are not formed, we cannot see anything. It means that there is a formula of seeing, whereas colors, light, and darkness are the levels. If man knows the formula behind them, he can even see in the darkness. In chapter 16, Surah An Nahl, verse 48, it is stated, have they not seen what things Allah Almighty has created? Their shadows incline to the right and to the left, prostrating Allah Almighty, and they are subservient. Nature has provided relaxation with those shadows, not only to human being but also to other creatures as mentioned in this verse. The size of these shades is dependent upon the movement of the sun, and this can be realized with the shadow of the building that becomes large and small with the set and rise of the sun. Similarly, all scenes, including the shade of man, have the same approach. Even in the night, with moonlight and artificial lights, shades are also created. However, the sun is the manifested sign through which the shadows move. As mentioned in chapter 25, Surah Al Furqan, verse 45, it is stated, have you not considered your Lord, how he extends the shadow? And if he willed, he could have made it stationary. Then we made the sun for it an indication. The primate of Silsila Azimia Hazur Kalandar Baba Aulia Rahmatullah Alayh has declared darkness as the light and says that if darkness is not the light, then the animals who are active at night cannot see. فَإِن تَوَلُّوا فَإِنَّمَا عَلَيْكَ الْبَلَغُ الْمُبِينُ. So if they turn away, then only upon you is conveyed clearly. यारिफूना नेमत अल्लाहि सुम्मा युनकिरूनहा व अक्सरुहुमुल काफिरून. They recognize the favors of Allah Almighty, then they deny it. And most of them are ungrateful. Yunkirunaha, they alienate. O claimant of the truth, if they are restraining to adhere the right course, even after such manifested signs, then you should not worry. Your duty is only to deliver the message clearly. In chapter 64, Surah At-Taghabun, verse 12, it is stated, and obey Allah Almighty and obey the messenger. But if you turn away, then our messenger has only to convey the message clearly. The duty of the messenger is only to deliver the message. Now it is a choice of the people whether to believe in it or alienate from it. Everyone is accountable for his own actions. Guidance is the biggest blessing in this world. Those who believe in this reality, they are then guided how to move on the right course. Verse 83 tells us the definition of ungratefulness, and that is after having received the true message and recognized it, one demonstrates alienation from it and restrains from its practice, and this is ingratitude. Now, those folk who get the awareness of Allah's blessings but fail to comply in their actions, they are in fact ungrateful of these benedictions. The correct way to demonstrate gratefulness is to use those blessings for oneself as well as for the benefits of other creatures of God. A summary of the 11th Ruku. Allah Almighty has the knowledge of unseen. Nothing is concealed from Him. Matter of moment is like a blink of an eye or even quicker. With respect to law of measures, we transform into various stages from our birth till death. For the acquisition of truth, Allah Almighty has bestowed us with the faculties of hearing, seeing, and intellect. Allah Almighty's signs are spread over in these multiverses and are even within ourselves. The purpose of these signs is that we may contemplate and recognize our true Creator and Lord. The true message is being delivered to the mankind and would be conveyed in the future as well. Its implementation will save us, while the consequence of negation will result in a rebuke or a reprimand. May Allah Almighty help us in understanding the true context of the Holy Quran, and may we act upon it according to the guidance of Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Sadaqallahul Aliyul Azim, Sallallahu Ta'ala ala Habibihi Muhammadin wa ala alihi wasallam.